here's another inequality, and we're going to solve this one by using the distance method. So whenever we're doing the distance method, we need to have a number line. So I'm going to draw out my number line. And I have to find the center, because the absolute value is the distance from the middle. So this here is going to tell me where my middle is. The center is going to be opposite of what I see here. So my center is going to be 6, which I'm going to judge as probably about here on the number line I drew. And so this is my center. And this here is my distance. Distance from either side. So that means I go 8 this way. So that would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so 8 plus 6 gives me 14. And then I have to go 8 in the other direction. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Once again, I misjudged the length of my line. So I'm going to extend it a little bit. Okay, so this would be going backwards 8, so I'm going to subtract 8 from 6, and I'm going to get -2. Okay, so those are my critical points. Right here is my center. This is my upper bound, and this is my lower bound, so to speak. But let's look at what it is that they're asking us to do. They're asking us for the absolute value to be greater than or equal to 8. So that means my distance from the center has to be greater than or equal to 8. It has to be at least 8. So because I have that equal sign as a part of my inequality, I can go ahead and bubble this in as a solid dot, meaning it includes those points. So remember, this distance here is 8. So if I go from here to here, I've gone at least 8. If I go further, then maybe I go around 9 and 10 and 11 and 12. So my distance, I get further and further away from my center, and that's what I want. I want my distance to be further away than 8. So that means this, all the values to the right of 14 would make this statement true. Remember, this distance here is also 8. So -2 was a value that was 8 units away from 6. But I want to make sure that my distance is at least 8. So if I go over here, that means now I'm 9 away, now I'm 10 away, now I'm 11 away. So as I go this way, my distance is also increasing and getting further than 8. Okay, so how do we write this using set builder notation? Well, first let's figure out where x is, so, or n in this case. So any value that would make this true. So n lives out here somewhere. So n is out here. So what is the relationship between n and 14? Well, let's see. If n's out here, it could be 15, it could be 16, it could be 105, it could be 10,586. It can be any number that's bigger than 14. So that means n has to be greater than or equal to 14. So we're going to do the same thing on the other side. Where is n over here? N is any number out this way. So it could be -3, it could be -4, it could be -15, it could be -1,000, whatever you want it to be, because all those numbers are going down this way. So what's the relationship between n and -2? Well, n, these numbers are smaller than -2, so n is smaller than, is less than or equal to -2. Okay, so I do that because these inequalities are going to help me write my set builder notation. So I'm going to use a curly bracket, or curly braces, and I'm going to say the set of x such that, excuse me, I need to say n because this is an n. The set of n such that n is less than or equal to -2, or n is greater than or equal to 14. So we're wondering, why is it or as opposed to and? Because or always means all possible values, and means values that they share. So let's turn this around. Let's look at this a little different, and let's change the problem to be the absolute value of n minus 6 is less than or equal to 8. So now I've changed it, right? Different problem. It's a different problem because I have a different inequality. It's going the other way. So when I'm looking at this one, I want my absolute value to be less than 8. So when I'm looking at the number line, less than would be this way. Anything through there makes this distance from here to here less than, and anything from here to here makes it less than. So they're coming together, which makes it an and. And we'll look more at that in the future.